Bucknutters. It's Thursday, February 12th, 2015. That can mean only one thing. Thursdays with Wiltfong, Steve Wiltfong, the Director of Recruiting for 24/7 Sports. Steve, how are you this fine morning?
Good morning, Daniel. Excited, man. Excited to be on.
So National Signing Day is over. That means your job pretty much is easy right now, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, we're already moving on to 2016 as fast as the Buckeyes are.
Good news indeed. Good news indeed. Today we're going to talk about Steve cut his teeth, and he can even tell you about this, in the Notre Dame market back in the day and knows Tony Alford pretty well. So what I wanted Steve to do today is just kind of give us as Bucknutters a real vibe for what we're getting in Stan Drayton's replacement in Tony Alford. So if you could just do that for our people, Steve, I'd appreciate it. And I'll go out of my way not to interrupt you, of course.
No, hey, absolutely. Well, obviously, over the weekend, it was an exciting time on Bucknuts, and it was a disappointing time on Irish 247 when I reported that I thought Tony Alford was leaning towards taking the Ohio State job as an opportunity for him to get a step closer to his goal of ultimately being a head coach. Tony Alford is a player's coach. I think he's a guy that when young men get to college, he's a guy that players can lean on early in their careers to adjust to their new surroundings of being in college and transitioning from high school to being away from home and being away from your circle of trust and being at a college. I think Tony Alford's a guy that has certainly helped transition young men at all the stops at, Louisville, Notre Dame. He'll do that at Ohio State. He'll be a guy. He's known as a player's coach, and guys will really like being around him. There's no question he's a really good recruiter, a guy that goes into Florida and recruits kids that weren't even thinking about the school he was recruiting for before he got down there. Guys like Torian Folston, Greg Bryant, Lewis Nix. Those were guys that weren't thinking about Notre Dame until Tony Alford put it on their radar. And to go down into that territory and land a guy that's an airplane ride away from all the SEC powers and Florida State and Miami is not easy to do. And so I think that shows you what type of recruiter he is. And then he's helped develop guys. You look at a guy like Theo Riddick, who plays for the Detroit Lions. I'd venture to say that they're for the beginning of the first 3 years of Theo Riddick's college career, Ohio State fans probably didn't even know who he was. And then even his senior year, he had a good year and helped Notre Dame get to the title game, but he still wasn't a household name. But Tony, developed him and made him the player that he is, among other guys that are playing in the NFL, including Michael Floyd. So I know that he's a guy that's been on Urban Meyer's radar for a while, and it just worked out this time that Urban was able to get him.
The plan is for Alford to basically take over Drayton's territories recruiting territories of Cleveland, Orlando, Tampa, Florida. That matches up with where you think he's solid?
Well, absolutely, because, in Cleveland, you just have to have an Ohio State logo on your shirt, and you're going to get 9 out of 10 guys. And then Alford could be the difference on the 10th guy because he's a good recruiter that's going to do a good job and work hard at it. And then obviously he's familiar with the state of Florida, so the only thing that changes for him is just going down there with a different logo on his shirt. Everything else, he's the same guy, building the same relationships, that's already earned the trust of the coaches down there, and so that'll quickly carry over to the prospects.
I've seen people refer to this, much like when Larry Johnson was added to the staff, as a home run hire for Urban. Would you agree with that?
Well, I thought that it was a don't miss a beat hire. It's a getting your top target. It happened so fast because that was the guy Urban Meyer wanted, and so he brought him in. And I think it's a great hire. I think that with the support that Ohio State's staff as a whole, the Urban Meyer enterprise gives as a recruiting whole, when you talk off field with Mark Pantoni and then Urban Meyer as a Clayton Kershaw, Madison Bumgarner, head coach type of recruiter, he's there from start to finish. Those are things that could help Tony be even stronger on the recruiting trail.
want to talk a little bit about 2016. You know, we were joking before the show. We wanted to talk about 3 guys Ohio State is going after. And the joke was, well, just take the top 3 people on any list and they're going after. But it's true, Ohio State is going after the best of the best. But who are 3 guys they're going after that you think they either might have a chance with or might fit in great with Ohio State?
Well, Ohio State, they have 6 commits right now, led by 5-star running back Kareem Walker, who was excited about the Tony Alford addition, as you read on Bucknuts from Bill Kurelic and Alex Gleitman. It's been a number 5 class in the nation, number 1 in the Big Ten right now. The other guys are 4-star gets. And then when I look at the Ohio State target list on Bucknuts, put together by Bill Kurelic, it's a loaded list when you look at the top targets, and Ohio State's going to be in the mix for all these guys. Nick Bosa's got to be, and I wrote this yesterday in my 5-star piece, he's got to be considered one of the bigger locks in the recruiting class of 2016. He's a 5-star, number 10 player in the country, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite, the younger brother of Joey Bosa, obviously. I think Ohio State's the huge favorite for top 50 running back DeMario McCall, who's from the Cleveland area. But you just go up and down the list. Rashawn Gary, I think they're in the mix for him. Ben Bredesen, 5-star offensive lineman, has Ohio State in his top 4. Mike Mennett, the offensive tackle from Pennsylvania. I think the Buckeyes may be in the top 2 there. Josh King, top 50 defensive end from Chicago area. I think Ohio State's the leader. Jawan Williams, the top 50 offensive tackle from Washington, D.C. The Buckeyes, I think, are in the top 2 there. Prince Sammons, Brendan Burns, those are guys that I think they have a great shot at. Liam Eichenberg, I think the Buckeyes may be the leader. Justin Laney, love where Ohio State stands with him. I think Ohio State's the leader for both kids in Fort Wayne, top 247 receiver Austin Mack, and top 247 or top 100 defensive end Austin Robertson. Jared Maiden, the outstanding corner from Texas, has Ohio State in his lead group. I could just go up and down this list of all the blue chippers that are seriously considering Ohio State. The class is ranked number 5 right now. Be interesting to see where it's at almost a year from now with all the big timers that are very interested in the defending national champions.
From what it sounds like, though, you do think they've got a shot this year at finishing with the number 1 class?
Well, I think that I did that 5-star piece yesterday, and LSU is in on like 6 or 7 of them, and I know that 5-star list is going to change. But I would probably make LSU the early favorite for the number 1 class. But, Ohio State's one of the schools that you would put in the discussion.
Excellent. Steve, we appreciate the time. I think people may need to lie down after hearing you run through how good Ohio State is in good shape with all those guys. So we appreciate the time from Steve Wiltfong. We actually kept this interview rather short. So, Steve, have a great weekend. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Same to you, Dan. Thanks for letting me come out and state a lot of the obvious.